Yo, face. Show your face, please. With sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, first and foremost, rest in peace King Vaughn, y'all. But y'all know, like they always say, what's done in the dark shall always come to light. And unfortunately, but fortunately, the truth about King Vaughn and the guys he had around him who he thought was his friends is finally starting to come to light. And it's funny because you have people like myself and Guy Hagen who called it a long time ago, and everyone thought we were crazy, claiming we were conspiracy theorists and said we were just using Vaughn to get clout, the whole 9 yards. Even some of the bloggers as well. But how ironic that a lot of those same bloggers are now reporting on the shady stuff done to Vaughn by the people he had around him, and now creating the same exact quote-unquote conspiracy theory content. Now, whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. But like I always say, the devil is the master of confusion. And when something doesn't make sense, or you see people start lying about anything involving the situation, that's basically an indication that something isn't right, and where there's smoke, there's fire. In Vaughn's case, you didn't have people lie, you didn't have people backtrack on stories, you had people make things up. It's just been one big circus. But as of recently, it's been exposed that the same guy who has been picked up for the unalive in a Lil Pab have been accused of being the same guy that stole $200,000 from King Vaughn as soon as he passed away, according to Vaughn's cousin Balo, and allegedly cleared out safety deposit boxes belonging to Vaughn as well. It's also being reported that allegedly Vaughn's sister Kayla B got a piece of the pie as well, and also played a part in stealing things from Vaughn's home, such as his hard drives, after he passed away. Pretty much everything we told y'all before. But what makes it more interesting now, you have the family actually saying it. So before people would say, well, how do you know, Hookah? You wasn't there, you're being a conspiracy theorist, you're just making things up for content. Well, now the family is saying the exact same thing. So what are you going to tell them? However, I'm more interested in a few other things that people aren't paying attention to, such as what made them suddenly just come out the blue and start revealing this information when they been knew it. Why did they wait until OTF, Vonnie, and Little Durk get locked up to want to start exposing that he stole from King Vaughn? Now, here's another thing. With Vonnie being so close to Durk, y'all said we were wrong when we told y'all Durk and Vaughn wasn't as close as y'all thought when he passed away. But here's my question. With him being that close to Durk, you don't think Durk knows Vonnie stole that money from Vaughn and whatever else? And what did he do about it? Nothing, allegedly. So here's what we're gonna do, y'all. It's a lot that was said on Twitter, so instead of just trying to read every tweet due to how many of them they are, we're just gonna put them on the screen for y'all to see everything that went down. Also, I got a big announcement at the end of this video, so make sure y'all stay tuned and stay to the end to hear what's going on. As for now, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now here's what I want y'all to do. Focus on what Mona said. She said, try to lie like 21 Savage or Little Harold got you that car. When Dirk paid you off for that snake-ish, you did. Now once again, why were those hard drives so important? Why were they so important that Kayla was paid to get them? If it wasn't no foul play or nothing, why he couldn't just get them himself? But I think we all know why. Now one thing about Mona, she's always going to expose something, but the only thing about it is she ends up taking it back. I don't know if that's going to be the same case now. If y'all remember what she originally said about Vaughn and Kayla B, then I think y'all know exactly what I'm referring to. Now, the same information we were labeled crazy for is starting to come to light, and make no mistake that more will, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now for y'all that's new, let me briefly fill y'all in. When King Vaughn lost his life back in 2020, a woman by the name of Gala Hagen, who was on the spiritual side of things, told the world information pertaining to King Vaughn through what she does in the spiritual sense. When it comes to me, I would just point out all the things that didn't make sense from the outside looking in, and calling out all the inconsistencies in that case that unfolded when he lost his life. Even though me and Gala was on two different paths, we were one of the first, if not the first people to speak on Vaughn's demise being a setup, whereas I was doing it on YouTube. Then I discovered her videos on Facebook and reposted them to YouTube because she was the only one saying the exact same thing I was saying, even though she was doing it on a more deeper level. Now, like I always tell y'all, make no mistake, Gala is in her own lane and she's a beast at what she does. And it's funny how now the same people that called her crazy and try to make her seem like a conspiracy theorist are now the same ones making content about Vaughn being snaked by his own homies, and which saying the same thing that she been saying for years. Now seeing how everything plays out, now it isn't too far-fetched for y'all to believe that, like I said before, Dirk and Vaughn wasn't as cool as people think prior to his passing. With all the speculation going around about OTF Vaughn, who was just arrested and charged as a suspect in Lil Pab's demise, he's being accused of stealing $200,000 from King Vaughn and also clearing out safety deposit boxes and etc. Now just think about it. With him and Dirk being as close as they was, you don't think that Dirk was aware of that before we all knew? And with Dirk and King Vaughn being as close as y'all think they were, why did OTF Vaughn feel comfortable doing what he did, allegedly? Now when it comes to those hard drives that we already know Kayla B, who was King Vaughn's sister, took from his house and gave him to Lil Dirk, if Vaughn wanted Dirk or anybody to have them, do you think they would have had to steal them from his house? If Dirk wanted them, why he couldn't just get them himself or go through somebody else to get them? Why did he have to get Kayla B to actually steal them from the house? Sound like he wasn't supposed to have them, right? There's a reason Vaughn kept them away, and for whatever reason that is, but there's a reason he didn't want anybody else to have them and kept them in a certain place where he trusted the wrong person to know where they were. Now everybody thought I was crazy when I said after Dirk got those hard drives, he started sounding a lot like King Vaughn. But believe whatever you want, but you could totally see the difference in their cadence. And around that time, remember he said he was gonna stop dissing Duck, and then suddenly like a month or two later, he did a song and dissed Duck once again? You know why? Because I personally feel those verses were written by King Vaughn dissing Duck instead of Dirk. Now, while everybody's in a frenzy about this information, I'm just happy that it's finally starting to come to light. Because for the ones that been around, y'all know that we've been stating this information. It's just now that we're able to see it ourselves be exposed by the actual family. Vaughn wasn't the only one stealing either. Boss Top sat there and wore this man's pink Balenciagas knowing they ain't looked right on him. No way. But once again, when you have people around you who aren't right, their character shows, especially when you aren't around. And to be honest with you, I feel personally that a lot of these guys that were around Vaughn were mostly cool with Vaughn, more so because they feared him. Simple as that. Just look at how everything played out after he lost his life. That should tell you enough. Now when it comes to the Twitter drama with King Vaughn's people exposing certain information, everyone called us crazy or conspiracy theorists, and now look, we don't look too crazy anymore. And like I said, it's more to come out, but they're gonna spoon feed it. Remember the other day, Agent Doll and Lil Tim had a brief back and forth because she said that the bullets Lil Tim fired isn't the bullets that actually took King Vaughn's life. What have we been saying the whole time? If you watch the video properly, they say Vaughn got hit at least 8 times or more. If you watch the video, it's no way Lil Tim was able to shoot from the floor clearly 8 times in order to hit King Vaughn the way it did. It don't make sense. But then again, nothing made sense when it came to that night and everyone just chose to ignore it. Everyone lied. 100K track lied. To this day, it isn't 100% clear who woke him up to go fight after the manager claims he was asleep and not feeling like himself, because at that point we know he was drugged. 21 Savage lied about how Dirk found out the news about King Vaughn's demise. He also went and gifted quote-unquote Kayla B a truck out the blue for some frivolous reason he told social media. Kayla B lied about what she seen the night everything happened and her whereabouts, and for some strange reason, her and Bezu was the only ones in the club with N95 face masks on, looking discreet and kinda suspect. Slutty and Louis being targeted still don't make sense. Agent Dog went from blaming all his friends in the beginning to switching her story up. I could go on forever, y'all. Moral of the story is, something isn't adding up and it's being revealed that the people Vaughn had around him couldn't be trusted. And I almost forgot. How ironic that his cousin Balo, and I think someone else, mentioned before that they think it was foul play done to him at the hospital. And if you've been there for a minute, you know that's one of the things we always emphasize, them hospitals. Not just in Vaughn's situation either. I think in Chicago in general, there's a problem with them hospitals where everyone seems to be living after an incident, but somehow they go to the hospital and suddenly pass away. They never make it out the hospital. And if you know the weird stuff that goes on in hospitals and what they're always accused of, then you know what I'm getting at. We've also seen it with FBG Doug. After being shot all them times, he was still moving and still coherent. Not only did they have him on the ground forever after being shot, they opted to go to a further hospital when there was one closer. Why? And long story short, he passed away after going to the hospital. When you know the real story behind Martin Luther King after he went to the hospital, you will understand what I mean. But that's another story. My point is, we know the hospital Vaughn was taken to was shady when a picture of his deceased body was leaked on social media. Now, who else would have access to that photo? Nobody else but a doctor in that room. Why haven't we heard any repercussions behind that? So seeing how everything played out, this is why the hospital allegedly may have had something to do with his demise as well, and it doesn't sound too far-fetched. And the main reason I bring that up is because recently out the blue, YSL Woody even came out and stated that the hospital Vaughn was taken to is known for shady business. What a coincidence.
Did you lose your mom?
Man, I think Grady killed her. She went because she was dizzy. They said she was pregnant. You know, it's 10 of us, so we like, nah, it ain't. Went back. They ran more tests on her, and then she went back 2-3 more times. This thing, she got cancer and it spreading through her leg fast. And I hate going into that story because it's like, I ain't fully let it go. But I'm more level-headed now than I ever was. So they killed her.
And when you say Grady, you're talking about
the hospital. Yes.
Yeah.
I go in Grady for whatever reason. I don't go to Grady, period. I could break you see my pinky? It broke. I'm gonna let it heal up.
So I ain't going out.
I ain't going to Grady. I got hit off the dirt bike. I went to Atlanta Medical. I go to different, I don't mess with Grady, period, because every time I had went in there, I seen a lot of students, dressed up. They going to room, so I feel like they be practicing on real people. And then once they mess up, they just say, oh, you got cancer, and just wipe it away.
No matter where you live, we all have them hospitals in our area that everyone knows just to stay away from, because it seems like anytime someone go in there, they don't come back out. And according to Woody, Grady is one of them hospitals, allegedly. Then remember when Agent Dog said the nurse from the hospital called her? Out of all people in the world, she said the nurse called her. Not his mom, not his sister, not his actual child's mother, but her. Y'all remember I said how in the hell did the nurse just coincidentally get her number? It just doesn't make sense, man. They weren't married or nothing. Wasn't even together when he passed away, but she used his name for clout and ran that narrative. But she's a part of all that too. Remember when she made that post talking about the music industry forcing her to make sacrifices and do things she don't want to do? Something like that. This is why I'm saying more shall be revealed in due time. We already had to wait 4 years just for this. Hopefully it don't be that much in the future, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now the announcement I wanted to tell y'all is that me and Gala Hagen is actually going live this Monday, November 4th. I reached out because I felt it was only right, being that everyone hits me up constantly saying that me and her need to go live about it, and I just think it makes sense. So stay tuned, y'all. We're aiming to go live for 9 or 10 p.m. and just make sure you have your notifications on. It's definitely going to be one of those good lives. Plus, I don't think anyone has did an interview or anything with Gala Hagen before, and I never went live with anybody else, so it's going to be a first for the both of us. Y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.